Hi everyone, welcome back. I have another skincare reaction video for you, and today I'm taking a look at Zoe Kravitz. This is her guide to summertime skincare and makeup. This is also on Vogue. I'm not gonna really take a good look at her makeup because that's not really what I tend to look at, but sometimes I get into like those first couple of steps because it can have a little bit of crossover into the skincare world. But for this video, I'm really gonna take a look at her skincare routine and the products that she's using. If you're new to this channel, my name is Susan Yara. I've been in the beauty industry for 2 decades. I started off as a beauty editor. I now have my own skincare line, and I love to talk about skincare and beauty specifically on this YouTube channel. So Zoe Kravitz, what's there not to love about this woman? I am obsessed with Zoe Kravitz, and it's like, I hate to say this because I know that she is more than her looks, but she is just so stunning that you can't help but stare at her. And she has this just flow, like this laid back but super cool vibe about her. Like, she is the cool girl that we all strive to be. Not to mention she has the coolest parents in the world. I mean, Lenny Kravitz, an icon. Her mom, Lisa Bonet, an icon. And her stepdad, I mean, if you were not lusting after him during Game of Thrones, who are you? I'm pretty certain I lived in the same apartment building as Zoe Kravitz a few years ago because I saw her in the elevator a couple of times when I first got my puppy, who's now my dog, Mason Pearson. I would, like take him out really quickly to like make sure he was gonna go pee outside and stuff while I was potty training him. And I remember one time she was in the elevator and she was like, "He's so cute." And I was like, "Thank you." And I'd step out of the elevator and be like, "No, that's not Zoe Kravitz." And then one day, right before I moved out of that apartment building, I saw this big SUV, a big white SUV pulls up, and who do I see? Khal Drogo. This is Jason Momoa, P.S. if you guys don't know, come out of this car. And I was like, oh my goodness, I think she does live in the same apartment building as I do. I never saw her again after that experience, so it was like a double take situation. I also got to know her. I went to the premiere of Divergent, and that was like one of the first times I truly saw her as an actress. She did a great job, and she's gone on to be a really great actress. She's had all these different roles. Big Little Lies is one of the ones that like really stands out to me. She was in High Fidelity, and she also is going to be in the upcoming Batman. So she's just really taking off. She also is 32 years old, so I feel like this is that time of your life when you're really starting to take notice of your skin and really paying attention to the things that you're using and stuff. So I'm really curious to know what it is that she uses. Like if you take a cue from like her mom and her stepdad, they're very like free-spirited, kind of like that hippie vibe and stuff. So I wonder if that transfers over to Zoe and how she like lives her life and stuff, and the types of products that she uses. It might be a lot of organic and green and that kind of stuff. So I'm really curious to see what it is that she's using. But before I get started, just a reminder, skincare reaction videos are a great way to just have fun and have a good conversation about skincare by looking at what somebody else is doing. Back in the day, we used to look at celebrity skincare routines and hear what they were saying about their skincare products and almost take it as like gospel. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And now we know a lot more. And I just think it really opens up this conversation about what we should be doing with our skincare products and our skincare routines. So this is meant to be fun. It's meant to be entertainment. And remember that skincare is very personal.
Hi, this is Zoe Kravitz, and today we're gonna do some stuff to my face. I'm gonna wash my face with this Rhonda Allison pumpkin cleanser. It smells like Christmas. So I just wet my hands, got it nice and frothy. I have always been super into skincare because my mother is, both my parents are really, but my mom was always like really into products, organic products, facials, taking care of your skin. And I really think that beauty really starts from within, from your health, your gut, your beauty routine, your skin routine, being hydrated. And then you don't have to use makeup to like cover yourself up. You can use it to highlight. I'm gonna wash this off.
All right, so what did I say? Her mom loves all the organic stuff. I do love that she's throwing it out there right away. Facials, definitely taking care of your skin. I think that really is important. Her mom, if you haven't seen her, looks like she is her sister. She is amazing. I mean, she looks so good. Her skin looks amazing. And also Zoe, I mean, has amazing skin. I mean, you look at this and it's like, I don't know if she's got makeup on. I actually can't tell. That's like it's amazing. Like, she's got this beautiful, perfect skin. So, you know, I love that she's just starting out the gate with, you know, I love to take care of my skin. This cleanser is interesting. I have never heard of this brand before. I looked it up, and you know, what's funny is I assumed that the woman Rhonda was going to be an esthetician, but the founder is actually named Gianna, and she is an esthetician. So this is like a esthetician spa brand, but I could not figure out who Rhonda was. So if you guys know, please let me know. But this right out the gate tells me that she sees an esthetician, and you know that I have said this several times. If you find that right esthetician for you, it will change your skin, because you build this relationship with your esthetician where they get to know your skin, they help you keep your pores clean, they help you figure out what's going on with your skin. And obviously there are times where you need to be diagnosed when it comes to skin issues and you have to go see a dermatologist. But for the day-to-day stuff, seeing an esthetician and having regular facials, even if it's just like once a year, twice a year, if you can swing it, it really does change your skin. As far as this cleanser goes, I have not used it. I don't know how well it works. It has some interesting ingredients. It has succinic acid in it, which I feel like because of the inky list and stuff has become an ingredient that a lot of people notice now. So it's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and that's why, you know, like people might end up liking it, maybe even in like an acne treatment. So it has the succinic acid, it has your surfactants in it. It also has lactic acid in here, which actually could be in there for its hydrating benefits too. A lot of people don't consider that. And then it has some essential oils and stuff. So it's a pretty straightforward cleanser. I'm curious about how succinic acid would be in this cleanser. It has pumpkin oil in it, which is why I think they call it a pumpkin cleanser, but it has that scent, you know, that she said it smells like Christmas to her. You know, these are those things where it's like that experiential moment with your cleanser, especially, or your skincare products, can really matter to people. I bet you she just loves using it partially because of that experience. So I'm assuming that this is a morning routine because we are going to get into makeup. So it's also interesting to see that she does cleanse her skin in the morning. The reason I point that out is because, you know, there's also the trend of not really using a cleanser for your skin in the morning. So it's always interesting to see who is using a cleanser in the morning and who isn't using a cleanser in the morning, and she does opt for the cleanser in the morning. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just something to always keep in mind, and I actually hope that we find out what her skin type is, because that also gives a lot of perspective. Like if she has oily skin, then it'll tell you a lot about why she's using a cleanser in the morning, and also these ingredients, right? So I wouldn't doubt if she's gonna tell us later, just by even seeing these ingredients in this cleanser, that maybe she feels like she breaks out a little bit or something.
So now my face is nice and clean. I'm gonna use this Retrouvé serum. Really just lovely. I love all their products, but in the summertime, the serum is just really nice and light. Okay, here we go. My parents are both, you know, they're both in the entertainment industry and want to look and feel good. I think they really always wanted me to like take care of myself, take care of my skin, and make sure I am aware of like the ingredients that are in the products I'm using and stuff like that. And my mom and I are constantly like sending each other things that we like.
You know what's funny is I see a lot of celebrities use this brand, Retrouvé, and I have even said I'm kind of interested in their products because every time I read the ingredient list, I'm like, these are interesting. But you know what stops me? It's expensive as shit. This is a $325 serum, and obviously if you've got the money, more power to you to buy it. I'm sure, like I said, these are very interesting looking ingredient lists to me. Like this one has THD ascorbate in it, which is one of my favorite of the vitamin C derivatives. It's actually the vitamin C ingredient that got me started on my love for vitamin C. It's really great for, you know, skin types that can't handle vitamin C, or if you want to find something that's a little bit more stable and stuff, this is a really good one. This also has glycerin in it. It has soothing ingredients. There's Camellia sinensis leaf extract. There's niacinamide that you know I love. There's allantoin. There are some really great oils in here. There's even like a little bit of retinol palmitate in here, which I would argue is in there for the formulation, which a lot of people don't realize. It's in there to help stabilize everything that's in this. And there are a lot of ingredients in here. But again, really nice looking ingredients and ingredient lists. This might feel like, you know, like she called it a serum. It almost seems like it's like a serum emulsion, like a light lotion feel sort of. So definitely interesting. She did turn a little bit red from this. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything if that redness goes away quickly and stuff. She might just have the kind of skin type where when you start touching your skin, it turns red. But I always do start to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But these are really great ingredients to get your day started.
Now I'm gonna use this Caudalie mist. It's good to keep your skin hydrated in between serums and stuff. And it has like a really nice minty fresh feeling. Okay, it's summertime, it's hot outside.
All right, so a face mist on top of that serum slash emulsion that she just used, can you do that? Technically, yes. I know you've heard me complain about, you know, like seeing people like set their skincare routines at the very end with a mist like this. That definitely isn't the way to do it. But between your steps, you can technically do that as long as you're going to finalize it with a moisturizer, and in this case, if it's morning, a sunscreen, right? So it's really just about locking in those benefits. This must be like the hero product for Caudalie. This is like the most talked about and most used Caudalie product in these videos, at least, because I see so many people use this. I even used to use this product. I still sometimes do. It's so beautiful. This is truly an experiential product. Like, you spray it on your face and you're like, I feel like a rich bitch, you know? It's just such a nice product, and like I almost take away from this like routine so far that there's a lot of that vibe happening where it's like, it just feels like a spa day when you're using all of these products. Do you need to have this kind of a toner? It's going to give some antioxidant benefits, it's going to hydrate your skin for sure, and in between your products, that hydration can actually be very helpful if it's between your serum steps and also between like your moisturizer and stuff. It can definitely be helpful. You know, I know some people, I think it's like Nye, LA Beautyologist, has definitely talked about how she likes to use a spray toner between each of her steps until she tops it all off with her moisturizer, and it really just hydrates your skin. It keeps it damp so that all of your products absorb better, so it's okay to use it. This also has a little bit of an oil in it, so it does give a little bit more of a lasting, staying feel for this type of a spray toner.
We're gonna use some SPF because it's important to take care of our skin. So this company, iSun, is fantastic, and I love this sun butter. You can use it on your body and your face. I'm really into smells. I'm like a really sensitive person to smells, and when something smells yummy, it makes me like it a lot.
I mean, there you go. I was saying that this whole routine so far, just getting into it, I would feel like this was a spa day. Like this is, you're walking into a spa that just has these beautiful, you know, fragrances coming at you all over the place. Like this is what I am getting from her routine so far.
So this smells kind of like peanut buttery happiness. I don't know, but it's really, really delicious. Little goes a long way, and especially with SPF, it's like, it can be hard to blend in. Light layer.
Little goes a long way is not what you want to hear when it comes to sunscreen. A lot of skincare products, a little goes a long way is true, but when it comes to sunscreen, we all know you need to slather that shit on. And mostly because that's how you're going to get the true benefits. That SPF number that you are seeing on your sunscreen, they usually test that with like a really thick layer, like a shield on your face. So, bummer, it was like going so well, because she's like, I use a sunscreen because I'm gonna be outside. And PS, you need to use a sunscreen even when you're inside if you care about hyperpigmentation and aging and all of that kind of stuff. If you don't, there's definitely an argument to be made that you don't have to wear a sunscreen if you're just gonna be inside all day. But when you go outside, you for sure need your sunscreen. I have some thoughts about this specific product, but I'm gonna let her finish first.
I've not always worn SPF. It's something actually I'm like just becoming strict about. I have freckles, which I love, but I'm getting more and more. And I just want to make sure I'm like not damaging my skin. And you know, I live in New York and I walk outside all day, and like all of a sudden you realize you've been like basically baking in the sun for like 12 hours. But it's important that we protect our skin.
All right, so I was pumped to see that she was pulling out a sunscreen. I don't know if I'm as pumped to see the sunscreen that she's using, and I've never used this brand before, but you know, there are just like these little things. Like first, you know, she admits that she like hasn't always been consistent with her sunscreen. That's all of us. I mean, I for sure was not consistent with my sunscreen in my 20s, there's no doubt about it. It wasn't until I got into my 30s and I started to really realize what effect the sun was having on my skin that I started to really pay attention and realize that sunscreen was the product that was going to really just change everything for me. Like if I'm bothering with all of these other skincare products, I have to use sunscreen, or it kind of doesn't matter because I'm using all these products to help my skin, but then letting it get damaged by the sun, which causes the majority of the damage to our skin. You know, the thing is though, especially with a brand like this iSun brand, it is your stereotypical natural green beauty brand that starts to use terms like we are chemical free, toxin free. These are those things that really get people confused about skincare products, about their lives in general. When you start to hear this kind of stuff, even if the intention isn't fear-mongering, it really does start to give people a lot of fear about what they're using and what they're eating and surrounding themselves with. There's no doubt there are some ingredients in our lives, things that we expose ourselves to that can be very bad for you. You know, like I live in Los Angeles, I say this all the time. I kind of don't care what I'm putting on my face sometimes because I live in LA. We have major pollution here. I mean, I have been pregnant in some massive pollution. We have all these forest fires happening lately. If you think these products are worse for you, then you've got some problems. You really need to reevaluate some stuff because there are a lot of things happening that you have no control over that are way worse than anything that you can put on your skin. I understand the allure of wanting to use toxin-free products. We all want to use toxin-free products. Your skincare products, though, are safe. They should technically be toxin-free. I've heard the saying before, the dose makes the poison, right? And if you go online, there's this whole, you know, like group of people, scientists mostly, and like the chemists in skincare that are very anti-clean beauty and all of that kind of stuff. My problem is not clean beauty. I feel like, you know, clean beauty almost became like this term for like these cool new indie brands and that kind of thing. This is where I think like the green movement in skincare really gets a bad name, is when there are these brands that come out and they say these kinds of things where they're like, we're chemical free and we're only using ingredients that are actually active and stuff. No, your skincare ingredients should be very active. They should be working and they should be safe for your skin. And then the problem comes in with a sunscreen like this, which is SPF 27. It's better than nothing, that's for sure. But you can't find on the ingredient list the active ingredients. I can tell you, because I know skincare, that the active ingredient is zinc oxide in this. So it is a mineral sunscreen, it's broad spectrum, but I don't know how much of the SPF is due to the zinc oxide that's in here. The first ingredient is coconut oil, and we all know that I don't love coconut oil for your skin, not as like a pure coconut oil for your skin. This could be really nice. It could be very little coconut oil, but it's the first ingredient. So I'm gonna venture to say this is actually really like high in coconut oil. If you like go down this ingredient list, it doesn't tell you that the active ingredient is the zinc oxide. And I almost, this is without knowing for certain, right? I'm not positive about this, but I almost think that since coconut oil is the main ingredient in here, I feel like there might be this association because of the like natural movement and stuff of that, like coconut oil has a natural SPF factor too and stuff. I almost feel like they're like adding in all these oils and stuff and saying like these oils with the zinc oxide makes this SPF number. I could be completely wrong about this. I just find it a little bit interesting that you can't find, you know, the separated active ingredients because it would technically be a drug product. So it's just something to keep in mind. So this is the kind of stuff that bothers me because these celebrities lock onto this and then they start to promote it. I mean, this has over 1 million views on Vogue, right? So if people go and try to buy this sun butter and they think that they're getting the protection that they need, you know, it's a little worrisome because really the thing that they should be worried about is not chemicals, not nasty chemicals and toxins that could be in your skincare products. What they should be worried about is the UV rays and the potential cancer that you could be getting if you're not getting the proper amount of sun protection, right? If I had a conversation with Zoe, I'd be like, let's protect that beautiful skin. If you don't want to have a white cast, instead of using just a little bit, let's find you the right sunscreen for your skin that won't leave a white cast and that will just make your skin look beautiful and glowy. So all that to say, now I'm starting to have weird feelings about this skincare routine. It's all nice until it's not.
I really think wellness starts with like diet, exercise, hydration. I try and drink a lot of water. It's easy to forget to do that too. And I think it's all about balance, right? I think it's about like joy and happiness and laughter. Like I really think that affects the way you look and feel. I love to steam too. I love to like sweat things out. I think it's good to like keep the body moving like that.
When it comes to like sweating and all of that kind of stuff, I don't personally love to heat myself up because I deal with melasma. And these are those things where it becomes very personal, right? Like, you know, I think there is something to be said about like working out and keeping your body active and like sweating and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, for some people like me, you know, getting overheated is not a good thing. Like I avoid saunas and I avoid steam rooms and stuff because that's just a great way for me to walk out of that place with the worst melasma flare-up. So, you know, these are all just like things to keep in mind too. When I say that skincare is personal and wellness is personal, this is one of those moments.
Me and my mother, every year, we try and do the Dr. Schultz 30-day cleanse together. It's a 30-day cleanse that focuses on all your different organs. So your bowel, your liver, your kidney, gallbladder, and then bowel again. And it's just a nice thing to like kind of reset your body every year. And if you don't do that cleanse, it's fine. I just think like taking like a week of eating like raw natural foods is like a great way to just kind of like let your body relax because it's constantly working to process everything that we're putting in it. So it's nice to like basically give your guts a vacation.
So I'm all about the LA lifestyle. I've talked about this before. I'm an LA girl. Like I've lived here for now 12 years, I want to say, maybe going on 13 years at this point. And I have fully embraced my LA lifestyle. So when it comes to like a detox or a cleanse and stuff like that, I'm not anti. I kind of just like it just because I like it, you know? And I think that's more of the way to see this. Do you need to detox or reset your body? You technically don't need to, right? Your body is technically supposed to continue working. Like we want our bodies to like constantly be working. That's what it does, right? Our body does that. It's keeping us cleansed and it's working through all the things that we're dealing with and stuff like that. That said, I do think it's good to take breaks from things that are very known to be bad for you. Alcohol, drugs, you know, any of that kind of smoking is bad for you. Eating too much sugar, like we know that you need to cut back on some of those things just because it is bad for you. But do you need to go on a complete cleanse? I mean, not necessarily. Can you? And can it be totally fine and totally healthy? It can be. Always talk to your doctor before you decide to do these things because you really don't know if it's the right thing for you.
So eye cream, we love eye cream because we love our eyes and the skin under our eyes is all thin and delicate. So growing up, I had acne. I had a lot of acne on my forehead.
Eye cream, totally fine. Again, that Retrouvé brand where it's just unbelievably expensive. Take a deep breath. This eye concentrate is $415. That's expensive shit. I'm a fancy bitch, but this is expensive to me. For an eye concentrate, maybe it's because I'm like, how often am I using my eye products to spend $415 on it? And also just looking at this ingredient list, there's nothing in it that makes me think like, oh my goodness, this is definitely worth $415. They don't even try to get fancy. Like, you know, sometimes some of these brands are like, we've got caviar and gold and all of the fancy shit in here. They don't even bother. They're like, we've got very good ingredients. Period. Like, here you go. You definitely don't need to spend this money for a good eye cream, that's for sure. This does have nice ingredients though. She technically did use though, like THD, ascorbate, the jojoba seed oil, the lanolin. I mean, there are a lot of the same ingredients that she had in her serum from them that are also in this concentrate. So is it necessary to use both products and spend that money? Definitely not. Definitely not. Can you and enjoy and do you and do what you want to do? For sure. She's got a lot of money, I'm sure. So, I mean, why not? It's just one of those like, whew, you know, blows your mind. The other thing, she's putting this on. So let's say she did really use like the right amount of sunscreen, which we know she didn't. She also then put her eye concentrate over her sunscreen. Your sunscreen is the last step in your skincare routine. Period. You do not put anything else on top of it. And that's because you want your sunscreen to form a shield over your face to actually protect you from the sun. So anytime you put anything on top of it, especially your skincare products that are meant to absorb into your skin and be rubbed all over the place and stuff, you might be breaking that down. So that's always something to keep in mind. Even when you put on your makeup, I always recommend that you let your sunscreen dry down first, then you apply your makeup, and you should be aware of that. Like, don't be too rough when you're applying your makeup products, which, you know, if you know me, I don't want you to be rough with your face in the first place. Like, just always be very gentle.
And on my cheeks, I still break out, you know, like, it happens. Even if you don't have a lot of makeup on, like living in a city like New York, it's just, there's pollution and shit in the air. So like, no matter what time it is and like what my night's been, I will wash my face, like, religiously.
I mean, the best thing that she has said is that she will wash her face religiously, and especially when you're living in a place like New York City and Los Angeles where we have tons of pollution. I mean, there were times when I was living in New York City where I would come inside and I'd blow my nose and it'd be black. Like disgusting. There's disgusting stuff in the air, which is also the irony here of like organic, clean, chemical-free, toxin-free products and stuff, is that she lives in New York City. Now I'm really going to look at some of the makeup products that she's using because I wonder if those are organic too. Because it's like the irony here is that, you know, like it's the skincare products that people focus on that seem to have like these toxins that they're scared of, when everything is kind of formulated very similarly. As far as the acne goes, you know, acne a lot of the time can be hormonal. It's not something that just goes away. Everybody will deal with breakouts eventually. Even if you've got the best skin, something will eventually make you break out. So when it comes to acne and pimples and stuff, there's just no, like, you're not always safe. Like, it's not one of those things where it's like, now you've hit your stride with your skincare routine and you will never break out again. Just when you think your skin is exactly where you want it to be, it's almost like you wake up the next day and boom, another breakout. So of course she still gets occasional breakouts and stuff like that, but it does sound like she's got a better handle of her skincare routine as far as what works for her.
So in between skincare and makeup, I'm gonna put on some deodorant, this company Milk and Honey, and I've been on like quite a journey with just natural deodorants in general because a lot of them don't work. I don't want to put like aluminum near my lymph nodes and breasts and like really, really bad for us. So we should be trying to use natural deodorants. And this is one of the first ones that works, like truly works, lasts all day and smells delicious. So I just put a little on my hand and then do this. Just gonna rub it on my pits. Here we go.
Huh. You know, okay, so this is an interesting one. So there's a lot of, this is a very tough skincare routine for me, and even, you know, like the natural deodorant conversation right now. So, you know, like I don't really care if people want to use organic and natural products and all that kind of stuff, because really just do whatever it is that you want to do. It's more the conversation around it. You're kind of like scaring people into thinking that they're doing stuff that's just so bad for them, when really, in reality, all of your products should technically be safe for you, right? All of these ingredients you're using should technically be safe for you. I love that she at least acknowledged that natural deodorants tend to not work. It's really hard to get a natural deodorant that's made of coconut oil and shea butter and arrowroot and beeswax to actually stop sweat. It's not gonna stop your sweat. If anything, it's just going to make you smell better. This has some vanilla in it, and it also has baking soda in it. And what's interesting about baking soda is that it can actually be a big irritant for the underarm area. A lot of people are actually very allergic to it or just prone to reactions to baking soda. So what's funny is, you know, all these people are trying to avoid, you know, like toxins and stuff like aluminum near their armpits and their lymph nodes, but then they're putting ingredients like baking soda or essential oils that can actually be very irritating, like just make your underarms so uncomfortable. So that's like this weird thing that you have to keep in mind. You know, if you're trying to avoid like that BO smell, what you should be looking for are ingredients like glycolic acid or anything that's antibacterial, which I guess the argument here is that coconut oil is antibacterial, so it does help that body odor smell. But I would just think of this as like putting a vanilla cream underneath your underarms is essentially what she's doing. She's not stopping any sweat though, and she's not necessarily stopping body odor. You know, as far as aluminum causing breast cancer, this is a tricky subject. From what I have read about, from the conversations I have had with different doctors, even oncologists, there's no proof that the amount of aluminum that is in your antiperspirants and your deodorants, that causes breast cancer or any kind of cancer. You know, like if the aluminum is in high dosages, which would be just, you know, like just not normal in the first place, then that's a whole different story. But we're talking about the amount of ingredients that you're using on a regular basis. It should technically be okay. Again, this is a conversation to have with your doctor, but I just, you know, I go back to, you get all these thoughts in your head. I'm prone to anxiety all the time lately, especially I'm a mom. Moms are like full of anxiety once we have children. So I personally don't want to have all these other things that I'm like super stressed out about that I probably shouldn't have to worry about. You know, there are just so many things to worry about. And she lives in New York City. And like I said, I would blow my nose and it'd come out black several times. Like this was a regular occurrence for me in New York City. So I think, you know, like you've got to kind of look at your life and your decisions and stuff. Like if you're really scared of toxins and stuff, maybe you move out to the country.
We're gonna start with some Fenty primer. Shout out to bad girl Riri, because you're just like so cool. We don't want to be you.
Did you guys see that news? Rihanna is a billionaire. Yes, that's all I have to say. Just, yes.
especially like after putting lots of serums on and stuff. We're nice and dewy, which we love. There are some places that we don't want to be dewy, and we have to mat it. So I just put a little bit, very little, especially if you're gonna go over it with makeup, because it can roll.
So people ask me about primer all the time, and I always say, like, I don't think it's necessary for myself personally, and I do have dry skin, so I like to use a moisturizer, like a nice creamy moisturizer. A lot of the time, a lot of moisturizers, especially daytime ones, have similar ingredients, or even your sunscreens have similar ingredients that help to prime your skin. So you don't necessarily have to have a separate primer, but I like that she kind of like spot used her primer, because that's definitely something that you can do. Just use it in the areas where you know that you get a little bit more oily, or like your pores maybe are larger there or something, wherever you need a little bit more grip even, that's a good way to use a primer. So my thoughts about this primer. I actually haven't used this primer, looking at the ingredients and stuff, I'm sure it's just your typical kind of primer. But this is what I was talking about, right? So we just saw this whole routine where everything is like natural and organic and chemical free and all that kind of stuff. And then she goes in with this primer, and if you look at it, primers are technically skincare. I want everyone to like wrap their heads around this. Your primers are skincare. This is why I say moisturizer works as a primer sometimes. Like your sunscreen can prime. Like it really just depends on what the ingredients are, and really it's just the name of the product and the function that it's serving. When they name it a primer, they're trying to let you know that it's probably going to help mattify your skin, give it a little bit of grip, that kind of a situation. But a lot of the time, primers are really just skincare products. They're just like another form of moisturizer or serum or something, right? That's what this is when I look at it, and again, it's a totally fine primer. All fine ingredients, but it doesn't at all fall into this natural organic philosophy, right? It's just your like typical well-formulated primer that has typical ingredients in it that any other skincare products would have. And they don't talk about being green, they don't talk about being clean, nothing like that. So it's just this major departure from this like hardcore skincare routine. I don't know why everyone is so like targeted towards their skincare products being like so bad for you and so full of toxins and stuff, and then they don't care at all when it comes to their makeup products, their hair care products, any of that kind of stuff. It's just, for some reason, somebody out there has decided that your skincare products are full of ingredients that are bad for you, and they are not. They are supposed to be totally safe for you. That's the funny thing here, is this is always what I see. It's just such a contradiction from her skincare routine to then move into these makeup products. I'm gonna watch the next makeup product too, just because I wanna confirm this for myself.
I'm going to put on a little concealer. I don't like on a daily basis wear foundation, so, but it's nice to like balance things out. Our Touche Éclat. I love this stuff because it's light and just kind of brighten things up. Sometimes a lot comes out, just put it on your hand like that.
I mean, I don't even need to see anymore. I love the Touche Éclat from YSL. People just in general love this product. It's an amazing, amazing brightener for your face. But this again, just totally proving what I just said. It's like she's just gonna go in with your normal, typical makeup products without acknowledging or even thinking about the fact that they have the same types of ingredients as typical skincare products. Overall, her skincare routine was pretty good. She used products that were, you know, really expensive, but totally fine. The only product I thought that was a little bit questionable, and I'm not even 100% on that, is her sunscreen. I would have liked for it to be an SPF 30, and I'd also like to see that it actually tells you what are the active ingredients and the percentages and all of that kind of stuff. But she at least did acknowledge that sunscreen is important. So it's like a split thing, you know, it's like you gotta kind of like give it to her that she's acknowledging these kinds of things, but then these products are a little bit questionable, and, you know, like talking about how you want to avoid different, you know, like ingredients because they might be bad for you is, you know, just it's one of those things where it's like I just encourage you to like really take a step back if you're of that mentality, and to look at everything that you're using then. Like if you're gonna go full in, go in, right? Like at least commit to it, be consistent, right? And there's just no consistency here. That was Zoe Kravitz and her skincare routine. Sometimes I wish I could like sit and really study these skincare routines before I shoot these reaction videos. When you get my first reaction, you're getting that real thought, like that gut thought that like comes out, like what I'm really thinking and stuff. But after I've watched these a few times, I sometimes have even more notes, and I feel like this is one of those routines that if I went back and I watched it a couple more times, like I know I'm gonna have more thoughts about this skincare routine. But my big takeaway here is the inconsistency here. It's like you know, if you do feel strongly about toxic chemicals, go all in then. Then I would at least appreciate it more or something, you know? But I do want you guys to change that mentality. If you are worried about different toxins in skincare products, you shouldn't be. You really shouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And I know this as a skincare brand owner. Your skincare products are technically supposed to be safe for you. And when it comes to sunscreen, your sunscreen is very important. If there is one thing that we know about skincare and skin issues, is that the sun is the most damaging of anything that we expose ourselves to. And besides the aging that it can cause and the hyperpigmentation and everything that the sun's UV rays can cause to your skin, it can also give you cancer. Zoe, I love you and you are still a goddess and I love everything about you. I just wish that this would be, it's very on brand for her. I have to give it to her. Her mom, this is the stuff that she has taught her and everything too. It's hard to be like, change your mentality, but I do hope that if you have this similar mentality, you just take a look at this and think about how, it's just not consistent. So that's my big takeaway for this one. If you have questions or anything else to say, leave it in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yara. We'll talk to you soon.